Last time on Power Reviews. Nothing happened. And now, Database Rangers Power Reviews. Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to Power Reviews. I'm your host, Database Ranger, and this is our first episode. Now, to give you an idea of the purpose behind this series, I would like to introduce you to our scientific and technical consultant, Dr. K. Doctor?
After completing an in-depth study of the World Wide Web, we determined there to be a statistical insufficiency of online videos analyzing the exploits of the Ranger series operators. It will be the goal of this series to rectify that situation.
Thank you, Doctor.
Additionally, a thorough psychological evaluation of Database Ranger has determined this to be the healthiest outlet for his increasingly obsessive-compulsive fanboy tendencies, or at least the outlet least likely to drive away the few friends and family he has remaining.
Thank you?
Please don't make eye contact with me.
Alright, moving on. Power Rangers has a rich and vibrant history, spanning the better part of the last 2 decades, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to discuss Power Rangers on an episode-by-episode basis. If you would like a more general thematic overview covering the various different seasons, I heartily recommend Linkara's History of the Power Rangers, which can be found here. Today, I would like to kick things off with a review of the series premiere of Power Rangers Samurai. Now, for those of you who don't know, Disney owned Power Rangers for 9 years, canceling production of the series after the 700th episode, the Power Rangers RPM series finale, Danger and Destiny.
We were canceled?
This was followed by a reversioning of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers first season. We don't talk about that. During the course of this unpleasantness, Saban decided he missed his favorite franchise and wanted it back. And so, Power Rangers Samurai was born, and we fans were treated to new episodes after more than a year-long hiatus. This was the first of those episodes, The Team Unites. Oddly enough, we begin with what appears to be the team already united and practicing with their shinais. 2 of the boys work their forms, the girls spar, and their mentor discusses what it means to be a samurai. Everything appears to be going fine until... Ow! That's gotta hurt! Let's see that again. Bam! Right to the head! Ow! Red approaches Green to find out why his arm hurts so much from a head injury. Man, I bet Blue is going to get chewed out for screwing up that form.
Get into your opponent's head.
Wait, what?
Use your instincts to sense their next move and feel their attack coming.
Was that sparring? Was Blue trying to hit Green? And if so, why were they operating in parallel synchronized movements? Are they expecting their enemies to match their choreography perfectly only to smack them in the face when they're not looking? What kind of villains are they facing? Point made. So they continue to lecture Green and smack him around, which he takes surprisingly well, considering that Blue, the one being hailed as Mr. Awesome, was also the one who obviously made the mistake. After a while, he gets tired of getting compared to a guy that apparently lacks the ability to operate a belt, and he leaves, much to the mild concern of his impressively insensitive teammates. This segues into our opening sequence. Dude! Those guitar riffs. Those chords! They've done it! They've remixed the original theme song. This is a rocking way to introduce our new heroes. Who are apparently also the Mouseketeers? That was weird. Oh well, who cares? I am psyched. Wait, was that Emperor Grum? Oh man, it's Bulk! Bulk is back! Bulk is back! I don't know who that kid was, but Bulk is back. All hail Saban, savior of the universe. I don't care that the cold open made no sense. I don't care that we've been dropped into a situation with no proper introduction to these characters. Power Rangers is back and I just wanna sing! Go, go, Power Rangers! Rangers together! Samurai forever! Was that as good for you as it was for me? Anywho, the next scene introduces us to our villains, the Nighloks. Their goal is to flood the Earth with the waters of the Sanzu River, a bizarre waterway that is supposedly generated by human misery. We have Octoroo, the slightly effeminate and Cthulhuoid version of Finster. There's Dayu, the snarky and standoffish villainess with a mysterious past. And last is Master Xandrid, their ill-tempered and intimidating leader. Well, intimidating to them at least. The latest monster to emerge from the river is Rofer, a creature with two huge fists that fly around and is infinitely extending abnormally bendy arms. It is here that we take a quick break from the story to visit our old friend Farkas Bulkmeyer, who apparently lost his resort during the recent recession, and now spends his time hanging out with his nephew Spike, playing out their samurai fantasies in Bulk's garage. And getting hit in the face with paint. It never gets old! Unfortunately, that's the last we see of Bulk and Spike in this first episode. Wait, you may ask. Won't they pop up at the end for some hilarious tie-in to the conclusion? Bing! Nope. That's right, they have absolutely no bearing on the rest of the episode. And what about the villains? Won't we see them at the end of the episode to see how they deal with the inevitable failure of their evil plan? Bing! Nope. That's right, all we get is a status report halfway through the episode, and that's the last we see of them. And last of all, how about the biggest question of the first 5 minutes? Why is this episode called The Team Unites? They're already together. Is Mike's leaving the group a sign of the individual Rangers each trying to find their place within the team? Bing! Nope. Is this the introduction of a new team attack? Bing! Nope. Is this just the name that Saban came up with to assign to the first new Power Rangers episode produced in over a year? Bing! Nope. That's right. Going off the production numbers, this is actually the 3rd episode of Power Ranger Samurai. For some reason, Nickelodeon made the choice of airing this episode first, while waiting a full 8 months and 8 days before showing the actual first episode, Origins Part 1. Because skipping the introduction episode of an action-oriented arc-based series has always worked so well in the past. I could almost understand this choice if it were an episode that properly highlights the existing dynamics between the Rangers, but it's not. It's a Green Ranger focus episode. Speaking of which, let's see what Mike's been up to since running off. He's been playing video games with his 2 nameless best buddies, who reveal some disturbing information.
You're not at school, you're never home, she didn't even come to graduation.
Have I mentioned lately that the Power Rangers were my role models during the majority of my childhood? Hey, wait, what are you writing over there?
Your ongoing psychological evaluation.
Oh. Hey! So, Mike attempts to bring his friends up to speed, but they're too detached from reality to understand he's not speaking about some new video game. They are quickly interrupted by an attack by Rofer, who enacts his evil plan to spread misery throughout humanity by hugging them. Of course, Mike takes this as his cue to leap into action with a surprisingly quick instamorph, and he and Rofer do battle with the most dangerous weapons in all of the Power Rangers universe. Cheesy one-liners.
Hey, if you want to hold my hand, try buying me some flowers first, you broccoli-colored bum.
Unfortunately, his strategy of standing in one place doesn't seem to work too well for him, and Mike is laid out pretty quick. Jaden and the others leap in to save him, but not before his 2 unnamed best buddies are injured in the crossfire. It's at this point, even though Rofer has the upper hand, he is forced to retreat and rehydrate himself. Now, I actually think this is a great plot point. Even the best Power Rangers seasons have often had monsters that would spontaneously retreat after their first skirmish, even if the Rangers were at their complete mercy. This time, we actually have a reason for it, and it ties into the motivations of our lead villains. The waters of the Sanzu River are shown here to be necessary for Nighloks' survival. They want to flood the human world so they can live there, and escape the desolate, nightmarish dimension they currently find themselves trapped in. They are fighting for their freedom, which is a surprisingly human goal, albeit one that requires the suffering of humanity in order to be achieved. Of course, being creatures that are literally born from human misery, the Nighloks revel in their pursuit of their goal, displaying their true nature as physical manifestations of the worst of human emotions. They are not mindless machines or an external alien force, but represent the internal darkness that all mankind must face, while their battle with the Rangers, figures of light, hope, and the best of humanity, represents the classical Jungian psychological struggle with the shadow archetype, one that can never be truly won due to the inherencies of nature and the psyche. This surprisingly mature conflict is better outlined in my upcoming book, The Mind-Numbing Overanalysis of Children's Television. Still looking for a publisher. But I digress. Back to the plot. The Rangers tend to Mike's wounds and lecture him about the dangers of facing the Nighloks himself. This leads to a rather fascinating mixed message.
Since we're fighting evil, you must stay away from your family and friends in order to keep them safe.
So, by safe, you mean that at least you won't have to feel guilty when your friends are anonymously crushed during a Megazord battle because you won't be close enough to watch it? Good to know you guys have your priorities straight. Mike takes off again, this time to check in on his nameless best buddies, who seem to be recovering quickly from their injuries. Mike looks on sadly, knowing that he won't be able to hang out with these guys for a long time, but it's for their own good.
I won't be able to hang out with you guys for a long time. But it's for your own good.
Okay. So after this, he heads off to the docks, wishing he could explain things to his friends, but knowing that beating this Nylok comes first.
I wish I could explain things to my friends. But beating this Nylok comes first.
That was weird. So he spends the night trying to figure out how to...
I have to figure out how to sense a Nylok's attack before it comes.
Okay, Mike, do you really think Jaden would be wasting his time with inner monologues?
If we could only read the enemy's
Oh, come
next
on!
move.
Then I can outsmart him.
Cut that out! Jaden and Mike wrap up their training sessions, somehow learning how to anticipate enemy attacks through practicing alone. Go teamwork! The next day, Hug-a-Lot Bear terrorizes the populace again, and the Rangers race in to save the day, showing off their spiffy new morph sequences in full for the first time. Definitely a fan of the flying kanji, even if the ninja masks are a little out of place with the samurai theme. Mike is a little late to the party, insisting he needs to take down the monster himself. Before the other Rangers, or the audience, have a chance to question this, Mike pulls a fancy little instamorph and dives into battle. While the others all take on the Moogers with their various special attacks, Mike decides to show off his spectacular new technique of... running away. Huh. Well, at least no one will be getting hurt. Whoa! Well, I'm sure that car was abandoned. And driving itself around the turn. Right? Well, at least there's one fortunate side effect of Mike's wanton disregard for people and property. Rofer's arms get tied up in a knot. Somehow. And with Jaden's help, the monster is destroyed. But look out, Rofer's back and bigger and badder than ever. Good thing that Mike learned the value of teamwork. Oh, right, he hasn't. So he summons his Zord and... Wait, what? What is that? Is that a battleizer? Why is he needed inside the cockpit? Do the folding Zords have no shock absorbers? And why is he attacking the monsters? You know what? Never mind. Let's just skip to the Megazord sequence. Woohoo! I love the interlocking origami nature of the folding Zords, and the Samurai Megazord itself really meshes well with the style and tone of the series. So now it's time to show off Jaden's technique of closing his freakishly large eyes. Seriously, the size and positioning of those things are far more terrifying than the sight of a monster getting his arms amputated. Anyway, the Rangers use their Mega Blades to summon their super sparkly sword attack, defeat the monster, and save the day. Yes! Ow! Chair. Victorious, the Rangers return to their headquarters, and everyone takes turns congratulating Mike on a job well done. Emily chooses interpretive dance. So what have we learned from all this?
We can do anything as a team.
Really? Really? This is what you guys got from this? And that's the end of the episode. So what did I think of it? Well, it obviously had its flaws, many of which I've already covered in varying degrees of detail, but my biggest issue can be summed up in one word: decontextualization. Now, I generally don't like to reference Sentai when talking about an episode of Power Rangers, but I will make an exception here for two reasons. One, I, like everyone else, originally thought that RPM was going to be the last season, so I decided to try watching Shinkenger, making it the only Sentai that I have ever watched any footage of before seeing its Power Rangers counterpart. I stopped watching about halfway through, though, when Power Rangers Samurai was announced, but regardless, comparisons are going to be inevitable. The other reason? They credited the writer for the Japanese episode. To my knowledge, this has never happened before in the 18 years of the show's history. Clearly, Saban decided this episode was so close to the source footage that failing to credit the Japanese screenwriter was unacceptable. And having seen the show myself, I agree. Beat for beat, this is some of the closest adaptation of Sentai footage I've ever seen. If you don't believe me, try watching the two episodes side by side. It's kind of freaky. Now, does this make it a faithful adaptation? Well, not exactly. The scenes are there, but not the character traits and the interactions that made those scenes work. Mike's counterpart, Chiaki, was extremely lazy and irresponsible, while Jaden's counterpart, Takeru, was a harsh, impersonal leader who was threatening to kick Chiaki off the team if he didn't shape up and defeat the monster on his own. Now, when placed in this context, scenes with the Red Ranger lecturing the Green Ranger make sense. Scenes of training alone and facing off a monster alone make sense. Jaden criticizing Mike for getting accidentally hit in the arm by Kevin makes about as much sense as if Andros had criticized Cassie for being injured by Carlos in the Power Rangers in Space episode Always a Chance. Come to think of it, that episode also handled the anticipation of enemy attacks better, with Carlos training blindfolded with Adam, as opposed to, say, running around in the middle of the night with a stick. Not to mention that training that way would actually give the Rangers a chance to work together, giving context to the otherwise tacked-on moral about teamwork at the end. Which brings me back to my original point: decontextualization. Many of the scenes in this episode either don't fit the characterizations or don't fit the flow of the story. But I already tackled a lot of these issues when discussing the context of the Bulk and Spike scene and this episode title. This really just does not work as a proper introductory episode, and when compared to other season premieres, it's downright abysmal. But, seeing as how that wasn't the intent of the production staff, I feel that would be an unfair comparison. On the positive side, the production values are top-notch, it's great to see Power Rangers finally filmed in HD, and the Japanese footage meshes very well with all the new stuff. Rofer is a fun villain, and I'm thrilled to see the return of cheesy banter between the Rangers and monsters. I've always found that to be a major source of the show's charm. In case you couldn't tell before, I absolutely loved seeing the return of Bulk and the original Mighty Morphin theme. I found these both to be excellent demonstrations of the love the producers still have for the series. It's just a shame that things were brought down by weak writing and rather wooden performances from much of our main cast. I still have hope for the series, though, and look forward to reviewing Power Rangers Super Samurai in the future. In the meantime, thank you all for watching this very first episode of Power Reviews. Please post your comments below to let me know what you thought, and make sure to join me next week when I'll be reviewing the actual first episode of Power Rangers Samurai Origins, Part 1 and 2. Until then, farewell Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.